Hello, my name is Amy, and I'm a junior here on Wyzant. And my main specialty is helping registered dietitians study for a registration examination for dietitians, particularly anything involving math. But I also like to help people of all ages, just help them with solving math problems, anything from pre-algebra, geometry, and well, geometry is actually one of my favorites, always has been. So, okay, enough about that. I'm sure you want me to get to helping you solve this problem. All right, so I just have a few tips to help us out, and bear with me, I'm still getting used to this recording thing. Um, I'm going to go to share you my screen, and we're going to go between that and then this old-fashioned whiteboard here as well, okay? Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to screen share. All right, so hopefully you can see that up there. So here's the original problem. It's a geometry problem. It says the measure of the supplement of an angle is 20 degrees more than 3 times the measure of the original angle. Find the measure of the angle. Now, I just have a few tips here that kind of general to kind of keep you focused whenever you're solving, any math problem, okay? Because a lot of times we sometimes start reading things and then we forget what was it that was supposed to be doing, and just kind of coming back to these will help you focus. So I'm just going to read through a few of them and we'll kind of talk through it and how that applies to the problem. So tip number 1, what is it I am trying to find out? What is it that I know? Are there any terms that I know that could help me solve the problem? Excuse the spelling there, a typo. Would a picture help me solve the problem? And then I have, defined the variables. So, define, another typo. And then, of course, the old classic, does my answer make sense? And this is a problem where you can plug it back in and check your answer, which is pretty cool. So let's go back to the beginning here. I'm just going to run you through what my thought process was when I was doing this problem and what stuck out to me and kind of how I went through it. And I'm somebody that's good at talking out loud and thinking out loud. So sometimes that's helpful. Sometimes it's not, but bear with me. I think you'll find it helpful here. Okay, so it says, the measure of the supplement of the angle is 20 degrees more than 3 times the measure of the original angle. Find the measure of the angle. Okay, I'm looking at this and I'm going, okay, I have to find some measures of some angles. But particularly what sticks out to me, okay, that's what I have to find, is it saying something about this word supplement sticks out at me. And in geometry, definitions are really crucial in order to really understand how to solve problems. And that's the key to this problem right here. So supplement, what does supplement mean to you? Well, when I think of supplement, I think of, usually think of 2 angles. Hopefully when you're thinking of supplementary angles, you're thinking of 2 angles that when they are added together equal to 180 degrees. Versus another word, complementary, would be 2 angles that equal 90 degrees. I'm going to just show you that on the board and kind of draw it for you to kind of give you a visual picture of this. Because I think that's really going to help you out. And it's geometry after all. And well, I think pictures are way underutilized in not just geometry, but a lot of other fields of math too. I won't get too far into that detail, but just a pet peeve of mine. And I think it could just, anyway. Okay, so let's go to the whiteboard. All right, so as I said, kind of refresh that thought. We have this word supplementary and supplementary angles. And hopefully you know the definition of the supplementary angles of 2 angles that are supplementary. So we're talking about supplementary. What we mean is, for supplementary angles, let's go to this one here. We're referring to 2 angles. So basically, we're referring to, I'm going to draw it here, 2 angles. So let's just say this is 1 of whatever degree We don't know what it is, and this is angle number 2. So this is saying that we have supplementary angles, and in this case, angle 1 is supplementary to angle 2, and angle 2 is supplementary to angle 1. We call those supplementary angles. So, angle 1 and angle 2 are supplementary angles. Now, the other part of this definition is that we know that angle 1 and angle 2, when we add them together, they are also part of the definition. It means is that they equal 180 degrees when they're both added together. So we're saying that this total angle right here is 180 degrees. So if we wrote this out in terms of geometry language, or excuse me, algebra expression, we would say that angle 1 plus angle 2 equals 180 degrees. That's the definition of two supplementary angles. So this is 1 supplementary to 2 and 2 supplementary to 1. Okay, hopefully that little dance with words makes sense. Okay, so how is that going to help us problem? All right. Well, let's go back to this mess in this problem. So we know that 180 is going to be helpful. And it says the measure of the supplement of an angle is 20 degrees more than 3 times the measure of the original angle. Find the measure of the angle. I think that's a typo there. It should be find the measures of the angles. Okay? Since we're talking about supplementary angles, again, we must be talking about 2. So, but we have to kind of get our get our bearings here somewhere. Okay? And so we're talking, I see the word original angle. Okay, that's a starting point. So whatever that angle is, we'll start from there and kind of build off of it. So I'm going to call this original angle. For simplicity, I'm just going to call that angle 1. This is angle 1. It's going to be my original. Okay? Angle 1 equals original angle in the sentence here. And angle 2 is going to be whatever that other angle is, or angle 2 is a supplementary angle to this original angle. Okay, again, just like we're playing semantics. Okay, so that's going to be, the supplement to the, so this is going to be the sub to this original angle. Okay, now I can kind of try to put this into an algebraic expression. So you could use it O, you could say it S. I'm just going to use the angle and kind of write it out into an expression. So this is saying that angle 2 is, okay, angle 2. And again, my original angle is angle 1. Okay, so saying that this angle 2 is equal to, and then I'm going to read my sentence here. And it says, measure of a supplement is angle 2. And supplement angle is 20 degrees more than 3 times the measure of the original angle. And my original angle here is angle 1. And it's saying that this is 20 more. So when I hear the word 20 more, this is going to mean plus 20. Okay, should trigger that. And it's saying basically, okay, 3 times the original angle. So I could write this as 3, parentheses, angle 1, 3 times 1. And it says angle 2 is 3 times that, and then plus 20 degrees. So hopefully you kind of understand where that's coming from. And then you can use this as an S, you can say this as an O. So I'm just using angle 1 as kind of like my letter for my variable. So let's just kind of read this sentence here and see if it reads the same, okay? 3 times angle 1, or 3 times my original angle, plus 20 degrees is equal to angle 2, or angle 2, which is that second angle of that supplementary angle. If you need to, you can also say that angle 1 is equal to O for original, or angle 2 is equal to S for supplementary. I kind of dabbled with that, and I kept on getting myself mixed up, mistaking that for a 0. So, but one other thing I do want to do here is, before I move on, is kind of relate that back to my picture here. So sometimes it's helpful to put this equation kind of like we did here at the 2 equal 180 to remind myself that this angle 1 is equal to my original angle. So that's this right here. And angle 2. So I have angle 1 and angle 2. Now angle 2, I'm going to write this equation because they're related, is equal to 3 times angle 1 plus 20 degrees. Okay, I know that's kind of a sloppy mess, but you can kind of see it. So we have two variables like this. We're going to have angle 2 equals 3 times angle 1 equals plus 20 degrees. And we need to find out what the angles are. We go back to the other thing that we know. And what is the other thing that we know? We also know that when we add, again, angle 1 plus angle 2, they're supplements, so they will equal 180 degrees. So I'm going to use that information. And how am I going to use that? Well, I'm going to solve for one of these variables, either angle 1 first or angle 2. All right, so how do I want to do that? Well, I think what I'm going to do here is use what we call substitution. And all I'm going to do is plug in. Okay, so all I'm going to do here is plug in. It's going to plug this in here, this right here, into this equation here. So if I were to rewrite that, I have angle 1 plus angle 2. So that means I'm going to write this whatever this is equivalent to. Instead of writing angle 2, I'm going to say angle 1 plus okay, yeah. Okay, I'm going to rewrite that too, just to make sure. So angle 1 plus angle 2 equals 180 degrees. I'm going to substitute. Use these equations. I'm going to substitute. So I'm just going to write following, and I'm just going to rewrite that whole thing over again because it's kind of sloppy. So we have two equations we're going to use here. Are angle 1 plus angle 2 equals 180 degrees. And then the upper one was our statement, which was that angle 2 equals 3 times, parentheses for times, that's angle 1 plus 20 degrees. So these are our two statements. Now I'm going to substitute. So what I'm going to do is say, it's the very easiest way to do this. Okay, so I'm going to do, basically I'm going to plug the second one in here and here to that variable. So this whole thing right here is going to go into there. We call substitution. Okay, bear with me, it's a little late here, and you can't read that. Substitution method. So what that means is, we write it, and have a 1 plus, substituting this into there, so we can use a different marker, plus angle 2, which is this whole thing here. So it's going to be 3 times angle 1. Okay, so much for that 100. Just trying to get it close. 50 plus, let's say 3. Okay, I'm substituting here. Times angle 1. Inserting it here. It's the equation. Angle 1 plus 20 degrees. Finish this off, and that's going to be, again, our original equation equals 180 degrees. So again, we transpose it, angle 2, we substitute all of this and plug it in to this original equation. So that's that green part right here. Okay. So once we do that, this is the equation we have now. Okay, so you probably know that this is a 1. We're going to add like terms. So I have angle 1, and I have an angle 1 here, and that's going to give me angle 1. You're going to add your angle 1 plus your 3 angle 1, which is going to give you, and this is just like a variable, hopefully that's not confused. So basically you have 4 times angle 1. That's my symbol for that variable, angle 1. And then I'm going to write the rest of it out, plus 20 degrees equals 180. So all there's left to do here then, I know what to do. You're going to subtract 20 degrees. That's going to give you 160 degrees. Okay, 4 times angle 1. You're going to solve for angle 1, divided by 4, divided by 4. And that should give you an answer of angle 1, which is again our original angle, is equal to 40 degrees. Okay, so again, angle 1 equals original angle. Now what we have left to do is find a supplementary angle. So that's pretty easy. We got the hard part done, because once we found what angle 1 is, we know that angle 1 and angle 2 have to equal 180, right? So again, now that I know that angle 1 is equal to 40, was it 40 degrees? All right. What do we do? Well, all we need to do here is, don't we just need to take 180 minus angle 1 to get angle 2? Okay, so let's do that. Okay, I'm running out of root, so I'm going to write it right here. So basically, all we need to do is 180 degrees minus our angle 1, and that's 40 degrees equals angle 2. So, and when we do that, what do we get? We get, you should get, I'm missing something. I just want to, like, for some reason, I don't know, I want to put something like 120, but it's not that, it's 140 degrees, right? Equals angle 2. Because 180 minus 40 degrees, again, we plug it in, is our angle 1 equals angle 2. So that's our angle 2. Now, that's 140 degrees. Now the question is, does that make sense? Well, if we look at this, our picture, which is kind of sloppy, we already said angle 1 is 40, and that's our original angle. We said angle 2 is 140 degrees. Or, if we pull it back into this original equation, is angle 1 plus angle 2 equals 180 degrees. Does angle 1 plus angle 2 equal 180 degrees? Okay, well, we said angle 1, our original angle, is 40 degrees. Plus our angle 2, we said was 140 degrees. And I believe that equals 180 degrees. It checks out. Okay, if you still wanted to be doubly sure, you could also plug it back into the second equation. Remember that was angle 2 equals 3 times angle 1 plus 20 degrees, or as we read in the paragraph, but the second angle was 3 times the original angle plus 20 degrees. So what do we do here? Well, if we plug 3 times 40, put in this, use this, and we go 3 times 40 degrees, okay, what's that? 3 times 40 degrees, and there's that 120 plus 20, we get 100, let's see, let me just write this out, okay? And I'm going to rewrite that on the back just to copy and prove it to you, just to make sure. So again, we said that our angle 1 equals 40 degrees, angle 2 equals 140, angle 1 plus angle 2 equals 180 degrees. Check, okay? And then we put it back in that other equation. Remember, we had an equation that said angle 2 is equal to 3 times our original angle. Or we said that original angle was angle 1, we're going to call it that, plus 20 degrees. Okay, let's just plug it in here. So plug our answer in, and the plug our answers in here. This statement should also make sense. So we said that these should be equivalent. We got this one to check out. So we have angle 2, we said that was 140 degrees. Okay, so does this part of it make sense? Does 3 times our angle 1, which we said was 40 degrees, plus 20. Now this should equal to that, are the equivalent. So 3 times 40, 40, 80, 120 degrees plus 20 degrees. And I believe that's 140 degrees. So yes, that also checks out. So ta-da, we must have the right answer. Again, the supplementary angles in this case are angle 1 is 40 degrees, and that's supplementary to angle 2, which is 140 degrees. Angle 1 was our original, and this was angle 2 was a supplementary angle. And hopefully that all made sense to you. And I know I repeated a lot, but sometimes I think a lot of people appreciate that. All right, so that was kind of my first major recorded video session. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Again, I'm a dietitian. My name is Amy, but I also love enjoying helping people with just general math questions.